Well, let's return now to the breaking news about the discovery of a body in the search for the missing teenager Jay Slater in Tenerife. Let's talk now to Chris Pennington, who's been involved in the search for Jay and joins us now. Chris, just tell us a little bit about what you've been doing out there.
Hi, good afternoon. Yeah, we've been involved. We've responded actually to a call from the Guardia Civil to go and help with their search, which was due to start on the 29th of June, if I remember correctly. I couldn't actually go that day, so I went the following day, the Sunday, and that was the day that the official search was called off. So myself and two friends, colleagues, we were using the research and the information that we had gathered, and we started to conduct our own search in that area. Essentially, our thought pattern was to put ourselves in the mindset of Jay, and at each step or each position along that track, based on the information that we knew to be true, what decisions would Jay have made? And essentially, we were trying to track his, or retrace his steps and track him through the mountains. We've been working for 3 weeks, and we've done a number of recce's up on the site, particularly the point at which we believed he left the road and came down into the thicket, into the bush area. The actual location of where his phone last registered, which we found. And from there, we used the process of elimination to actually track Jay through the mountains. I was there again on Saturday. One of my colleagues was in the ops room. He was tracking me with satellite and location software. I had another colleague with me for safety, because we were going to have to, I was going to have to come off into the ravine for us to thoroughly work through our hypothesis. I actually got stuck on Saturday, and at that time I was exhausted from the heat, extremely tired, couldn't make my way through the ravine, so we couldn't finish our recce the way we would have liked. I actually had to make my way back up to the trap, which was exhausting. That whole area is a heat trap, and as you get into the middle of the day, it's almost unbearable. So yeah, we understand the terrain. It's virtually impossible, but we believe that Jay, had he have gone into survival mode, gravity was taking him down into the ravine, and really his only lifeline would have been to head for the coast and head for the ocean, because it would have been impossible for him to turn back and come up to the road. Absolutely no way.
And how close was where you were searching, do you know, to where this body has been found?
I don't know exactly the point where the body's been found, so I don't want to speculate. But from the research that we had, we believed, I was trying to get to a place less than 500 meters further on, because this is where it becomes, the ravine is, the cliffs and the drops are a couple of 100 feet. And had Jay have made it that far, unfortunately, he would not have been able to get down there safely. He would have been dehydrated, confused, scared, lost. And at that point, you just have to think that, he would have had an accident. Certainly an amateur like myself, there's no way I could have got to those cliffs and navigated my way down. The only way it could have been done is if the Guardia Civil or the Spanish military brought in a specialist team to go back and search that area. It just isn't safe for people of my capacity or amateurs to go and search there. It really is treacherous terrain.
And you're a former Army reservist, and you're obviously pretty tough, but you found it hard. It does kind of give some kind of indication, doesn't it, how a 19-year-old who is possibly not quite as life experienced as you may have easily got into difficulties.
Yeah, this is the thing. Had Jay been going uphill, of course, when you go uphill, you always have the chance to come down. But unfortunate for Jay, he was going down into a ravine. And once you start going down, it's almost impossible to get back up. Like I say, the heat exhausts you. He would have been in survival mode and just desperately trying to head for the coast. Unfortunately, he was completely unaware of what was ahead of him. but I also was unaware, and this is why we used simulation, we used LiDAR tracking systems, so that we knew what was ahead of us, or what was ahead of myself walking down there. And unfortunately, you get to a point where it's a man trap. You're trapped down there, and the only way for Jay to have gotten out was to just keep heading for that coast. And unfortunately, it was an impossible situation for him, you know.
Are you surprised it's taken so long to find him?
No, not at all. It's to search that area, you have to be focused on your own steps. It's that dangerous. I mean, I'm banged and bruised and scratched and cut, and I had the proper kit to look after your own safety and make sure you don't fall and come to injury yourself, and search for somebody at the same time. It's almost an impossible task. I mean, the Guardian Civil have done a phenomenal job. I can't express in words just how difficult it is.
Well, Chris Pennington, really interesting to talk to you. Thanks so much for joining us today on Sky.
Thank you.
Now, England's players have arrived home following their defeat to Spain in the final of Euro 20.